Welcome back to the Capture Your Confidence podcast. This whole month, we have been reviewing our most popular episodes. I'm not at all surprised to tell you that the top episode for 2025 was an interview with our dear friend Erin talking about the boldest move that you could possibly make is betting on yourself. Erin is an incredible entrepreneur, a local friend of ours, and she has such fun stories about what it was like to build a business throughout the pandemic and getting like a very fun business off the ground.
Yeah. I mean, her story and that title in particular is like the epitome of this podcast. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so how betting on yourself is really what we are talking about in every episode. Mm-hmm. So no surprise, it's number one. We are excited for you to listen to it again, and we will be back next year
with fresh new content. We can't wait to see you then.
Bye. Welcome back to the Capture Your Confidence podcast. We are here with a special guest today. We have Erin Fehrenbach. Did I say that right?
Yep.
Okay. And she is the owner of Young and Wild Balloon Co.
And a dear friend of ours. Erin, thanks for being here.
Hi, friends. Thanks for having me.
Can you tell the people what in the world is Young and Wild Balloon Co.?
It's me and my team of 9 people, I guess now, but it's me. It started out in 2019. I actually stopped teaching and wanted to have like a little, just a little Instagram account where I shared my life with my kids. So I created a separate Instagram account to just bring my teaching experience to with my kids into the internet. Mm-hmm. And it was originally Young and Wild with my 3 kids. And then within a month, I posted a picture of balloons I did for one of my kids' birthday parties. And people were like, where did you get these balloons? Blah, 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 blah. And so I stopped teaching in May of 2019. And by August of 2019, it was Young and Wild Balloon Co.
I love this. So, okay, did you have any experience when you made the balloons for your kids?
No. I just watched a YouTube tutorial and they look terrible.
But I mean, way better than anybody doing it on their own, probably without the tutorial would have done.
Yeah.
Right?
People were impressed.
Yeah.
People were impressed.
When you were making the balloons, do you recall ever having any thought of oh, this is fun, or I enjoy, do you remember thinking anything about it?
I mean, I always loved doing parties for my kids and stuff. And so I enjoyed it, but also didn't think that it was anything special. Mm-hmm. And very much I enjoyed it, but I didn't think I never thought oh, I can make money doing this. In fact, people were sending me messages who did you hire? Blah, blah, blah. And I would just send them the YouTube tutorial. Oh, you don't hire people for this.
In fact, I'm discrediting the business model entirely before I even launched this business.
Yes, exactly.
So how did it go from I am going to do a couple of balloon things for my kids' birthdays to people are messaging me to this is a business? Walk us through that part.
Oh, it's just, I don't know. Honestly, I am one of those people that builds the plane as she flies.
I love her.
Yeah, so let me ask you this real quick. Did you decide to quit teaching to do the balloon company, or you were already going to quit teaching?
I was already going to quit teaching. Okay. So I had my 3rd kid in my last year of teaching and realized that all but $50 of each paycheck I made went directly to preschool and childcare.
Barf.
So I was don't love that. I'd rather be home with my kids.
Yeah.
So I decided to stay home. And so I was really fortunate. My husband has a really good career as well. So he was able to support us and I decided to stay home. I am very harebrained and will just run with anything. And I get excited very quickly and aggressively. So I'm not surprised that I started a business, but it also was never the intention at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how old were your kids when you started this?
Oh, so my oldest was in kindergarten. Okay. And he's now in 5th grade. So I don't know. Yeah. 5. So 5, 3, and then 1.5. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So 1.
One of the things that I admire most about you, Erin, is the fact that you actually have a really strong business savvy sense without realizing that it's a strong business savvy sense. Maybe maybe you're humble about it, but you've iterated to me multiple times, and you just a minute ago you just iterated one of them, which was that your instincts sort of led you into the thing, and you were willing to trust your instincts. So you made those balloons for your kiddo's birthday. And other people were coming to you asking, where did you get those done? And you thought, well, I'll just do it. And you built a business on it. And there have been multiple times in your business where you thought, oh, here's a problem. I have an easy solution, and you've added that to your business. And I really admire that willingness to like meet the need to solve the problem and leverage that in a way that I just think it's so smart as a like business owner.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. But I do think it's like a thing where people don't trust their instincts, and you're very quick to lean into your instincts. And I actually think that's an advantage.
Well, thank you. I was thinking, because, you know, I was like nervous. I'm like, what are they going to ask me? What am I going to say about myself on the way over here? I just blindly follow my dream.
Yeah.
I am fortunate to have a pretty healthy safety net, but I've never needed it. So that's been, I just bet on myself and run.
So, okay, you start this business. Obviously, what was a hobby pretty quickly turns into like a successful business. So walk me through the frame of mind that you're in when it goes from like hobby to like, oh snap, this is a thing.
Well, it happened during the pandemic, really. Yeah. So I started in August of 2019 and then got my son in kindergarten, and quickly that all shut down. So while he was away at school, I still had a preschooler who was half day and then a daughter at home. So it was very much just me like making things in my basement. And then, you know, I'd get like 2 orders on a weekend and it'd be like, woo! Yeah, like get to take the car seats out of my minivan and load these balloons up there. And I can't believe someone's paying me $100. Like,
so sweet though.
I know.
And it was cute.
So cute. And I was like, yes, like, you know, I could turn this $20 bag of balloons into $100 and, you know, so yeah, but the pandemic hit and I went from those like 1 to 2 like little birthday parties for mostly people I knew or like people that they knew, friends of friends, into the craziness of the pandemic. So, you know, the world shuts down. My husband's now home full time, which means I have help with the kids, but also the kids are home all the time. And I just quickly pivoted and was like, well, no one's having parties, but like deliver balloons to the kids in your life for their birthday since you're not having a party. Or, you know, the drive-by parties were a big thing, if you remember those. So I was like decorating people's minivans with balloons so they could drive past. I was decorating porches. Like a grandma would hire me to like decorate a porch to have like the birthday girl stand under while everyone drove past. And so I pivoted and started offering different things. And I mean, I didn't know how to make anything. You know, now I've attended conferences and I've paid for education and training. But at the time it was like, what can I find on YouTube? What can I find? And at the time, like reels were becoming a thing. And so like, I was like watching other balloon artists' reels and like slowing them down if it was a time lapse to like figure out what they were doing. And which is hilarious because now they're all like good friends of mine. And just like learning on the fly and adjusting and, you know, making it work. And it just exploded from there.
I love this. Okay. Because I think a couple really important things. So you weren't doing anything that other people couldn't figure out how to do.
No.
Right. But you still did it anyway. I think a lot of times we talk to people who like, they didn't, you know, you didn't invent the balloon, right? And you didn't invent balloon arches and things, but you still did it anyway. And weren't deterred by that, which I love, because how many times do we talk to people who say, well, there's already people doing that. Like there's already you know, this is already saturated, and they don't even give themselves a chance and they kind of shoot it down before it starts. What was the voice in your head that like gave you the audacity to think that you had a place?
I mean, I think it was, I will tell you, I have the very best friend in the entire world. Her name is Katie, and she is a former wedding photographer, very fabulous, wonderful wedding photographer. She had been doing it for at least 10 years at the time. And she said, Erin, I think you could make money doing this. And she came from a pretty luxury service market as well. She was a high-end wedding photographer. I was like, what do you mean? Like, cause I'm such a DIYer. Like, I'm going to do it. Like, I'll figure it out and I'll do it myself. But she was like, not everyone wants to do it themselves. Remember all these weddings? Because I used to actually help her shoot weddings. And I was like, oh, she was like, just like try to make some money doing it. And then, you know, Pete won't be on your butt about how much you spend at Target every month. I'm like, oh. So really my goal was like to bring in like $200-$300 a month. Yeah. And that was like my goal. I was like, okay, like this will like pay for like little outings with the kids and whatever. So I don't know. I don't know if there was necessarily I'm not aware of myself enough to have like doubt that stops me. I think I'm fortunate in that sense. So I don't think that I really experienced like a crippling self-doubt.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like, my friend thinks I can do it. I'm going to trust her. And I mean, I can do it, but like, are people going to pay for it? I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah.
What's the harm? And
what's funny is that you act like you don't have a lot of self-awareness. I think what's interesting is that most people, like, that's not the disposition of most people. The disposition of most people is like ad nauseum rumination about all the things that could go wrong or all the reasons why. And I think what's really cool about you is that the narrative mentally is not all of this, like all the negative stuff that could happen. It's just like, we'll see, we'll mess around and find out. And I love that because, like, I think it's the thing that we like try to teach our kids. And if for some reason, like, you've held on to it, so whatever in your life that is like
trauma,
shut it all off. Right. I don't know, but it's like so refreshing because I think most women that we interact with, they have all of these like fears and worries about how things are going to go. And I think your general baseline is, let's find out. And that is like so freaking fun to be around.
Well,
so joyful. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
So walk us through. So we're doing the drive-by things and all the things in the pandemic. And then what?
And then we got too big for my basement.
Yeah.
So it got to the point where we just couldn't operate. I mean, I was operating out of like a 10-foot by 10-foot room in my basement where I like made everything. And then our like formal living room upstairs was kind of where like everything sat until it got delivered. So that really wasn't like a formal living room. It was like a play area for my kids. So my kids were losing their play area and I had some money coming in and I was like, well, I could probably pay rent somewhere. Let's look. So I found a little office space in Worthington on High Street and reached out to the landlord. And at first it was like maybe a little intimidating. He's like, oh, like I need this many years of financials. And I'm like, oh,
like I just make balloon arches, like
9 months of financials. Like, will that work? Cool. And I will say, my husband helps with a lot of that stuff. And unfortunately, I do think that I am taken more seriously when there's a man with me. Like literally my old lease was in his name, but I think it was also because I had 9 months of financials. They're like, if this doesn't work out, is her husband going to pay for this? Yeah. So I signed a 1-year lease and we outgrew it like within 6 months and still operated out of there. But it was insane. Like it was in the basement and we were taking these like icy steps up to the parking lot. While I was there in that year, I hired my first 3 employees and bought a paid cash for a delivery van, which we just got rid of. She's been retired. Her name was Linda. But it's just, as soon as I got into that space, I was able to grow more. I was able to say yes to bigger projects. I was able to think bigger because I had more space. And so after that year, a warehouse space around the corner from my house had opened up. So reached out, same thing. I need 20 years of financials and blah, 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 blah,
You're
blah.
like, I'll give you 1.
Literally. I'm like, how about almost 2 years? That's what I got. And I've been there in that space for, I think, 3.5 years since. And we actually are acquiring the warehouse 2 down in less than a month because we've outgrown our current warehouse.
So all of this sounds very highlight reel. And I got to imagine it was not all daisies.
No.
So can you talk us through some of the things in scaling this business that were so hard at the time that no one would have known you were like navigating those things?
Oh gosh, like everything. It's just, you don't know until you know. You know, when you're in a service-based business where you're quite literally not trained in what you're doing. Like by the time I went to my first balloon conference in 2023 and I started my business in 2019.
So people are hiring someone who
truly has no professional training. Truly. I mean, by 2023, I had enough like friends in the industry with enough experience. And when I say like formal training, like, you know, I can pay for an e-course here and there, like $30 here, $80 there, learn how to make this specific thing or whatever. But I mean, I was truly self-taught and then got to this conference in 2023 and already knew a lot of what was being taught, but was really able to like fine tune some skills and take on other larger kind of skills.
But the thing is, like, we don't care if you're formally trained as a balloon artist. Like, we care how it looks at the end, right? And so, like, your practice and your willingness to try is the training. And it's cool that you've gone to conferences and you've learned more. That's probably made you more efficient and better at your job. But like, all we care about is the way it looks in the end. And you figured that out on your own. But I digress. So continue.
Yeah.
on.
Tell us all the hard stuff.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, there's so many hard things, you know, hiring and firing and training people to do things that you trained yourself to do. And, you know, so many things, just so many things. And I mean, truly my business grew at a rate that was anyone with like healthy work-life balance would not have
Sustained.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was not sustainable.
Yeah.
There were probably a year and a half to 2 years where I literally only worked. My kids would go on deliveries with me sometimes. I potty trained my daughter at our old HQ. I have photos of her on that little training toilet in my office at our old space. Like it became a lot really fast but also very lucrative very fast. So it's like one of those things where it's like, I just kept betting on myself, but also like carrying the ball a lot further than I should have a lot of the times. And it got to the point at one point where I'm sure I've shared this with you. I was like so anxious. I had this employee at the time who was helping with some admin work, and managing her was outweighing the benefits of
having someone.
Sure. Yeah. And I was just very overwhelmed and like, I need the help, but like, and I can't imagine not having these tasks done, but I also like cannot keep up with this like interpersonal situation that's way more than what it needs to be. And my anxiety got to be so bad. I woke up every morning and I dry heaved uncontrollably for 2 hours. I have videos. I'll share them with you if you want to see. Just my feet would hit the floor and it was like an anxiety response. And so I started taking anxiety medication, and God love Lexapro. It has really helped me, but it was really a wake up call. And I was like to the point where I didn't want to do it anymore. I was like, I don't see the benefit if I'm not seeing my kids. And when I say all I did was work, I did have time with my kids, but I left my job teaching to be with my kids.
The irony. Yes. We talk to so many women business owners who are leaving for a more lax schedule.
Only to realize the schedule is less lax.
The schedule is less lax. Yes. Yeah. And so I definitely have a lot more of the work-life balance now, but it's not easy to build your own thing. And I mean, in the process, as you guys know, I started a franchise of Alphalit, the light up marquee letters. So I started that, and then we opened an event venue. And so all of those things, again, I started before I was ready, but like it worked out. So I'm glad. Yeah. But like with that comes a lot of stress and a lot of just figuring it out and calling in favors and having my husband schlepping things and hiring as fast as I can and training as fast as I can. And
talk to me about this idea of like calling in favors. Because one of the things that I noticed about you is that you have a really dialed in network of people who are like willing to jump the minute that you ask. And you're that person for a lot of people too. Like if I called Erin and said, I need to actually be like, yep, tell me when to be there. And so talk to me about like, was that built one person at a time? Did you already have that network of friends? And like when you transitioned into balloon artistry, like they were just there and ready. Like what did building that network look like for you?
I feel like it was just really organic. A lot of my network now is business owners. You know, on the way here, I was thinking, gosh, like tomorrow, my best friend Katie, she's opening a studio. And I'm like, how lucky am I that I get to celebrate all these milestones with all these amazing, all these amazing business owners that I'm friends with. You know, last Friday or 2 Fridays ago, we got to celebrate Ashley opening Dome. And then that same week, I got to celebrate a friend of mine building a building for her balloon business and, 2 hours away from here. And I'm like, I just think that like-minded women gravitate toward each other. And with that comes a little bit of vulnerability, or maybe I'm just naturally vulnerable and I'm willing to be like, listen to this crazy thing that happened to me today. Maybe initiate that. Yeah. And I don't know, but I do think that it's been like one person at a time and lots of just little things, you know. And I mean, one of my best business friends is Ashley Landers, and I met her because I offered to do balloons for her facial bar for free.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, you're a new business. I'm a new business. And then immediately we've been inseparable since.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just think I love hard. And I think a lot of the people that are in our same positions do too.
I actually think that loving hard is like the best business strategy ever. And like, if you could just show up with a heart of giving and pouring into other people, you would be amazed at what happened in response to your business. Like if that were the lead strategy, you'd see a lot better ROI.
Yeah. Okay. The thing that's crazy is what you are just saying. I just had this conversation with my sister, and she probably wouldn't care if I said this, but we were talking she was visiting from Alaska, and we're sitting on my couch, and she was like, I just don't get it. Like, you have so much confidence. I feel so insecure all the time. And I said, you're only thinking about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you serve other people? And it's not that like, you know, because I come from this like women should be quiet and just serving and, you know, very like kind of suffocating Christian background, but it's not that. It's like when you give to other people, you see the value you bring.
Yeah.
And it could be anything, you know, give someone a compliment. People love to be complimented. No one fearlessly just compliments people. I just told the lady today at Nordstrom, like her vest was beautiful and she looked beautiful in the color. And it was like, no one probably told her that today.
You walked in here today and you told me that my ugly floors were pretty.
Okay, these floors are really nice. They're so solid.
But it's the truth.
Yeah. And, you know, so the other thing that always stands out to me about you is that your friends, many of your friends are in the same industry as you, which I feel like not a lot of people can say that they are helping out other folks in their industry and strategizing and, you know, just being friendly with them. And I think that just falls in line with a lot of what you're talking about.
Well, thank you.
know?
I do have a lot of balloon friends.
Yes.
Well, not just balloon friends, but also just people in the event industry. And I will say, I think it makes it so much more enjoyable. Like it's already hard to be a business owner. It's already hard to do service-based work. You know, the people who are doing it alongside you are your allies. They're the only ones that get it. They're the only ones that can understand the way they're feeling. Like, stop looking at other people who are in comparable industries as competition and start seeing them as the only freaking person who's going to get it. And then band together and support each other and watch what happens when you do that.
Yes.
It's like unbelievable to me that I'm watching other people in other industries like
for no reason
be cagey with each other when they could be the person that could understand deeply what you're feeling. It blows my mind.
It is crazy. I will say I do feel fortunate just as a balloon artist that mine is very locally based. So are there local people that I'm not a fan of? Why, of course there are.
Sure.
But
that's life.
But there's also plenty of local balloon artists that I have called on for favors. They have called on me for favors. We've given each other business. We've given literally bags and bags of balloons. I ran out of this color, whatever.
I got you.
Yes. And so it does help to not view everyone as competition. I do feel fortunate, and I don't mean this to come across as arrogant, but I would say I'm the most successful balloon artist in this area. So it's easy to be like, sure, I'll help you out.
Sure.
Because I don't view everyone as competition. Because I do feel like I've cornered the market in a lot of ways, but also I don't view any of them as competition anyways. You know, I'm like, I'm happy to help you. Will you help me? Like, I'm also not too prideful to ask them for help.
And you would help regardless of your position in the thing. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's coming from your character. It's not coming because you think you've won the market.
No.
You know?
Yeah, and I would argue that you never set out to win the market. You set out to be helpful. And that's the reason why you cornered the market.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Right?
You're probably right. Yeah.
I am right. No, I am.
I guess.
Absolutely correct.
She does this if you haven't heard.
I'm certain. Okay. So can we talk a little bit about the other side of this coin, which is like you quit teaching to be with the kids, then you start this business. Now you're looking at the fact that the scales are not exactly the way you thought they'd be. And it's been years. So where are you now when it comes to your own personal, I don't want to call it balance, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
With like being there and being present with the kiddos and also running scaling multiple companies.
I I will say I put in a lot of boundaries.
Yeah.
So I had some turnover in employees in May. And so I had like my full-time person no longer working for me and hired 2 people because we were in our busy season and all of that. So by July, I had 2 new people. And when that happened, I used that as an opportunity to really set some boundaries for myself and just set the tone for what role I really play in the business. And it's still not perfect, but it is definitely close to a 180 as we can be from where I was even a year ago. So I have set work hours now. I mean, there are exceptions, A-list client needing $10,000 job outside of my work hours. Yes, I'm going to make that happen.
Fine.
I know. But like, I'm not chained to the business in a way that I was even a year ago. Yeah. And that's been really great. So just even setting like those specific work hours and like some of my non-negotiables are I drop my kids off to school and I pick them up every single day. And that helps also set those work hours for me because I live and work and drop the kids off all within like a 3-minute drive.
Yes.
That's nice.
So it's so lovely, but it's like I drop the kids off and I go straight to work and then I stay at work until it's time to pick them up and then I'm done.
Yeah.
Will I answer emails in bed at night? Yeah, of course. Sure. Like I actually sometimes enjoy doing that because when I'm at work, I want to be doing the creative things that, and training, I'm building up my balloon artists on my team right now. We're working on specific skills. And so that's kind of what we're working on a lot of times right now. And then I'll do some of the admin at night if I need to. But that's been a big game changer because I have found that I find the most joy and I find the most connection with my kids in that 2:20 to 2:35 time frame when I pick them up from school to when we pull into the garage. I've been like a little selfish lately and like extending it, running a little errand. We have normally on Fridays, we do what we call hot cocoa car wash. In the warm seasons, it's ice cream car wash, but we go through Starbucks, get a hot cocoa and then go through the drive-through car wash and the kids look forward to it. And it's just like our little slice of fun. That sounds so silly, but I've built in a lot of those things where it's even if it's like that A-list $10,000 client is happening on a Friday at 4:00, like I committed to hot cocoa car wash and we did our hot cocoa car wash. And those are like the non-negotiables. I take my daughter to dance class every Thursday. We have those things where it's like, I have a lot more non-negotiables and my team knows it.
And that's the thing too, is like, I think at first you need the permission to set the non-negotiables. And then once you get the permission, you need the other people that are going to support your boundaries, right? So like my girlfriends knowing that I'm not going to respond to text during a certain time window because I'm doing the thing that you're doing, or, my partner clearing the runway with me so that I can do the thing that I want to do with the kiddos or with the business, right? So like part of it is the permission of saying, you're allowed to have boundaries around both of these very important things in your life. And then you're also allowed to have people who are going to help you like hold it, not break it.
Yes. I do think it's important. I can say I have these boundaries all I want, but making it clear to the people that help keep those boundaries. In my case, that's Taylor. She's my operations coordinator. It's like, she knows that's a non-negotiable, but it's also, you can have the non-negotiables, but I always worried about them being annoying, or why does Erin get these non-negotiables or whatever? But like, they see the value I bring and the hours I'm there. So it's like, Erin did X, Y, and Z during all this time. Of course, she needs that time with her kids, like because I think sometimes there's this sense amongst like the girl boss, like whatever, like I'm entitled to this. And it's like, well, sure, you're entitled to it, but like, are you bringing value in the time that you're like committed to bringing value? Like, because are your employees going to really take your non-negotiable seriously or take you seriously if you're not bringing the value? Like when you're committed to bringing the value to the company and to them and to their development.
Yeah. And we had a guest on this morning that we interviewed where we talked a lot about trusting your team, letting them fly. And part of being a good leader is you can't really be in the weeds 24/7 and then expect them to run with things. And some of the best ways that you can help foster their own growth is to just let them,
which is also the scariest thing.
Also very scary. But if you have the right team, it just comes naturally. Right now I feel so good with my team. And there's this girl, Michelle, she's like one of my lead balloon artists. So this week we were making a replica of the Disney castle, like the Disney World, the one in Florida, the Disney World castle out of balloons, and just on like a much smaller scale. And so she was questioning the colors and questioning this. And I was like, I trust you. Like,
you got this.
Just pick it out. Like, it'll be great, whatever. And so she picks it all out and she like looks at, because I've written a recipe for it. She's looking at it, doing the math to like divide up the colors and the sizes and all of that. And then I had happened to be working from home that day. So she said, I'm going to be assembling the castle. And I said, okay, like I am going to pick the kids up at 2:20. Like, do you want me to stop at work first and help assemble? And she said, I might need your help. So I had kind of an idea of like when she would need my help. And I just waited 15 more minutes. And she had already started. And she was like, I'm so glad you came late because
it like gave her the space.
Yeah. She was like, she was like, if you came, I wouldn't have felt confident. And so she said that to me. And I'm like, I knew she could do it because it was so similar to other things we had done, but she didn't trust herself. So I gave her the opportunity. I'm like, we'll see how she does. Like, will she try to build it or will she?
That's such a mama bird thing. Mm-hmm. Like, it's such like a, it's like you throw them from the,
Yes.
Yeah. But it's done with love and also with the deep trust of knowing that they have it. Like, you knew she had it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and that is really freaking cool. And I actually think it's really hard to do that as a business owner who cares a lot about the work that you do. And like, it's your name on the line. It's not her name on the line. It's yours. Right. So I think it speaks volumes like to your willingness to let them take ownership and try new things. And it's freaking cool.
Well, thank you.
So, okay. So you've built, multiple businesses. It's been a runaway train. What in the world? What do the next couple of years look like for Erin?
Ooh, good question. Right now, so I just had a one-on-one with my operations coordinator and she kind of asked me the same thing. And right now is my year. Like when we get to June, I'm willing to project, but I wanted like a full year of like this solid team.
Yeah.
Before I was really going to project and goal set and plan because it's hiring and training and all of that is exhausting. And this last year has really just taken a toll on me with all of it. And I've just been disappointed. Yeah. And so do I have grand plans? I'm sure there are some rolling around in my head.
There.
They find me. I don't find them. Let's be real. But obviously, I would like to continue doing balloons. I don't know that we'll continue our event venue forever. It doesn't bring me any joy. Yeah. I do a lot of scrubbing the floors. I love the events that we do in there and stuff, but it's the ROI just isn't really there. And I think we'll just keep chugging along and keep growing
and see what the world brings.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really trendy. I'm a really trendy business.
Listen, it's worked. So it's worked for you.
I know. So as the trends come, I'll decide which ones I want to stick with and which ones I don't. But I'm sure that we'll end up with like a growing rental situation. We're sort of working on that now. Oh, something I am working on. I don't know if you know this, but Party City went out of business.
I've heard.
So we have like we're current I don't know when this is going to air. So probably by the time this airs, it'll have already launched, but we're opening our own like miniature Party City. And my hope is actually to end up on DoorDash with some like deliverable things.
I love that for you. I didn't know
that
we were
feels like a small but approachable goal to me, which sounds insane. Yeah. So I'm going to be on DoorDash. DoorDash some balloons.
I love that that's a small thing for you. Also, that was one of the things that I was thinking about as the example that I was giving about hearing a need and immediately coming up with a solution. So, people were calling you and saying, hey, I just want to get balloons for my kiddo for their birthday. And so you saw an opportunity and you immediately, like you didn't wait, you immediately went to solving the problem. And I just think that's a really smart business decision. Being early is a really smart thing.
Yes. I heard once that, hold on, you're either the first, you're the best, or you're different. And that's what helps you succeed in business. And I'm definitely not the best in Columbus. I can tell you that. I was the first in like the trendy balloon decor. There were balloon decorators before me. They still haven't evolved. They don't do what I do.
Yeah.
Maybe they do. I don't see a whole lot of it, which is they're succeeding too. And I send business their way all the time. But I do feel that you either have to be the first, you have to be the best, or you have to be different.
I love that.
And sometimes you're both. Sometimes or 2 out of the 3.
Say you're also different.
Yeah.
I mean, you are a business with heart.
Thank you. Thank you.
know?
Thank you.
Okay, so any final advice for women who are like wanting to own the confidence to trust themselves, to like try things and to adopt that mindset that you seem to have so naturally, that's like, we'll find out, instead of ruminating on all of the worry?
I just build the plane as you fly. I know that's not a very good advice, but that's what I've done and it's worked. And I just don't pause and question a whole lot, and it's worked. So I would maybe stop and evaluate what type of safety net you have. And if it's going to catch you regardless, just jump.
I
Love it. Thank you so much, Erin, for being with us.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
And tell the people where they can find you.
Ooh, Young and Wild Balloon Co. on Instagram. You can probably find me on Facebook, but I don't know how. I don't hang out over there.
Me neither. It's a Wild West.
It's a Wild West. And then we're just youngandwildballoonco.com. I think that's everything.
Yeah, you can find her there. We'll put it in the show notes.
Yes, we'll talk to you guys soon.